everyone, and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian, and today we're here to talk about the new record from Linkin Park. It is titled One More Light. This is the band's 7th studio record and the follow-up to 2014's The Hunting Party. Now, at the beginning of this year, this was one of my most highly anticipated records. However, then I listened to Heavy, and then I heard Battle Symphony, and quickly I realized that I was going to go into this record with the lowest expectations possible, and this record shows a very new sound for Linkin Park, something that doesn't resemble anything that they've ever done before, and this is just an awful record, a record that is full of really lazily written songs, and it's not even really about the sound. And I've always been a big fan of Linkin Park's experimentation. I mean, in fact, my favorite record from them is 1,000 Suns, but honestly, this record is just horrific. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing to talk about with this record is, of course, the sound. And as I said already, this has no resemblance to anything Linkin Park have ever done before. It's really 2017 pop music, and in fact, a lot of the songs on this record resemble a lot of the songs that you will hear in the top 40 nowadays. This record is almost completely electronic, with the only constant, organic, and natural sounding elements being the vocals. But it's not the sound of the record that I have a real problem with, because I really do like well-written pop music. It's just that there seems to be a real lack of effort that comes across in this record, and you can really hear it. This record sounds like a pop formula with no real effort put in to add anything unique. There's absolutely no heart to this record, and the songwriting just feels lazy, and there's some real good examples of this. Firstly, Nobody Can Save Me and Battle Symphony are basically the same song. They've got the same structures, the same chordal patterns, and even the build-ups to the chorus sound the exact same. But the biggest example of songwriting laziness on this record is within Good Goodbye, which is basically two sections repeated over and over and over again. This song features rappers Pusha T and Stormzy, and also a rapped verse from Mike Shinoda, and really what the song is a vocal hook sung by Chester and then 3 rapped verses. The only difference between each verse is really the rapper's accents. And really the vocal hook on this song is just so boring and plotty. It just drags on and on and on. To get back to what I said at the beginning of this review, it feels like the band have just looked at the top 40 and chosen to use every pop music cliche that they possibly can. From the drop in Sorry For Now and the Shawn Mendes styled country song Sharp Edges, it feels like they've just taken every cliche that's popular in pop music today and shoved it into one record. Now to get into the instrumental of this record, and there's really not a lot to say about it. It really feels like Linkin Park is just 2 members now, Mike and Chester. The guitars are almost non-existent. There are only brief moments where they come through. Those moments would be in Talking to Myself. Get ready for that heavy guitar, guys. And as well as that, there's some clean electric guitar in One More Light, and then of course the acoustic guitar in Sharp Edges. I can't even really tell if there's any bass playing in this record, because there's so many bass heavy samples thrown into every single song that the bass playing is just drowned out. And the drums are the most prominent part of the record that sound natural, but even then, they are overtaken by so much sample drums that a lot of the natural element of the drums is sucked out. And you can really hear that in a song like Talking to Myself. And as for DJ Han, it's almost like he's not a part of the band anymore. Now, let's get into the vocals on this record, and Chester's voice is deteriorating rapidly. He sounds like a shell of himself. Maybe that's down to the fact that he hasn't sung this style of vocal before, and that would be understandable, but maybe it's just that he's losing his voice. And you can really hear that deterioration on songs like Heavy and Talking to Myself. Not only that, but the melodies that have been written are so predictable, and there's so many whoa-ohs. I thought going into this week that the Blink-182 record would have the most whoa-ohs out of anything coming out this year, but no, looks like it's going to be Linkin Park. Mike also sings on this record on the songs Sorry For Now and Invisible, but he really doesn't add much to the record at all. His vocal melodies are really boring, and you can really hear the vocal tuning on his vocals. As I said, he doesn't really serve any purpose to this record, and Chester could have easily sung his vocal parts. Usually when Mike sings on Linkin Park songs, it's in a lower range and it really shows off his voice, but On this record, he's just trying to sound like Chester a lot of the time. I can tell that Linkin Park want these songs to be anthemic, but if there's no passion in the performance, why should we give a fuck? And there are so many chipmunk samples. To give this record a positive, there is one song that I don't mind listening to, and that is the title track, One More Light. It is an electric guitar driven ballad that has a really good melody. The only part of it that I don't really like is the last line of the chorus. Other than that, I quite like it. However, putting it up against Linkin Park's past works, I don't think it really stands up as a great song. Basically, I can't stand this record, but I know there's going to be a lot of people who like it. But for me, it's just not Linkin Park, it's just a Mike and Chester pop group. Really, I think the solution to this problem is that the band need to bring in a producer, not to change the sound, because the sound could be really good if the songs are written well. They just need a producer to come in and tell them when things aren't working, because they just need some direction. And I don't have a top 3 tracks, and I'm going to give this record 1 out of 5. So anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my videos today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.
Who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment